Hi, my name is Dan Lier. I have a core belief that every human wants to be the best they can be. I really do. My keynote talks are focused on sales, leadership, and productivity. Yet, I'm not a speaker. I'm an inspirational teacher, teaching success principles from what I've accomplished, not from what I've read. I teach people how to win.
He is the most requested speaker in Las Vegas. A round of applause for Dan Lier.
I know you've seen some of my content online, yet here's a quick synopsis of what I can teach or present. In the area of selling, I have an 8-step system to the sale, which includes psychology, prospecting, connection, creating value, the presentation, overcoming objections, closing, and referrals. I can teach the entire sales process or specific parts of the process. For instance, in the connection section, which is step number 3, I teach a 4-point connection strategy to help people create value in networking or casual meeting situations.
All right, come on up. What's your name?
Brent Smith.
Okay, mic up to your face.
Brent Smith.
All right, Brent, thanks for coming up. So here's the scenario, and here's what I'm going to teach you. I'll leave this to you. And by the way, I'll send you all these slides so you can get this. Would that be fair? Okay, so Brent and I are at a networking event, and I'm drinking a water, and he's hanging out. I'm not very good at this. And so I created this 4-point connection strategy to help me build value and create a connection with anybody. So here's how it goes. So we're hanging out, and I see Brent. Hey, Brent. I'm Dan Lier.
Dan,
nice to meet you. Hold your mic up. So Brent, just curious, what do you do for a living?
I work in mechanical contracting.
Really? Great. So how'd you get started in that?
Oh, that's a long story.
All right.
You got a few minutes?
I got another beer. You know.
Well, I had to feed my family, and I found a good company that I work with. And
wow, I asked them 4 questions about them, right? But the A, B, C, the 4 questions allowed me to go up and talk to anybody because I know what I'm going to say. And oftentimes when you're meeting someone, you ask that last question, what's the most challenging part of your business? You have your ears open because that's what you might need to hear to help you get into their business. That makes sense? Or you might know somebody that can help them, and that's where you create a connection. So I'm going to give you the slides.
Easy to get sidetracked, but I'm telling you, you can do it. You can open up a chapter, stay focused, stay real, and do what you do no matter what comes your way. And these strategies I'm sharing with you, you can take with you and really blow out your sales career.
In addition, I've developed my 4 steps to reprogramming your mind for selling success, which I've done with companies around the country. I can also teach soft skills such as hustle, consistency, and my 2-step process to overcoming adversity. I have the content, yet just as important, I have the skill set to engage with the audience, interact, entertain, and influence.
Opportunities to separate themselves from other people. One of the biggest things there from salespeople is, oh man, it's such a commoditized business, it's all cutthroat, everybody's doing the same thing. Well, what are you doing to separate yourself? So one of the things I teach is called a value statement. This is what I do. So when someone asks you, what do? What do you respond with? And I'll give you some examples, okay? So here's a great example. This is from my friend Will Finnerty, who's in the financial industry. He's the guy that I sold that ticket to when I was at Tony Robbins. He works for UBS now. So he's a financial advisor, right? That's what he does. He's a financial advisor, and everybody in the financial world is called a financial advisor. True or not true? That's what they are. So Will, if he says I'm a financial advisor, he goes in the pile with everybody else. So here's what Will Finnerty says. He says, I run a private banking team that helps entrepreneurs gather and manage all aspects of their wealth. So that's what he tells people. And so that causes people to say, well, what do you mean by that? And then he gets to go in his pitch. Are you with me? It's real simple. Now here's one that I think you can relate with. Motivational speaker. I heard that. So this is really interesting because when I first started my career years and years ago, that's what I would say. And I'd get thrown into a basket with everybody else, whether they liked them or not. So now when people say, well, what do you do? I run a consulting firm that helps companies increase sales and develop leaders by changing behavior. And then I pause and I say, when people have those big corporate meetings like national sales meetings or kickoff meetings, and they hire an outside speaker, that's what I do. And they're like, oh, I need to introduce you to my boss. Are you guys with me on that? I separated myself from 99% of the other people. And it's called a value statement. So when you meet somebody for coffee or you meet them in an elevator and they say, what do you do? Think about putting together a value statement. And it's the law of activity. If you look at your sales and you say, man, they're kind of down, you can guarantee right away that you have not been prospecting. True or not true? It's true, right? So here's the 90-day challenge I share out with people.
But we all know as top performers, you want to be a top performing sales professional, you cannot share your issues, your personal challenges with your customers or your prospects. Does that make sense, yes or no? I mean, can you imagine? Thank you so much. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Thank you.
How attitude's a choice. Attitude's a little thing that makes the big difference. And we talked about having some fun with the greeting strategy, and on fire, unstoppable, unbelievable, and just being your best. And last but not least, we talked about hustle and the hustle factor. Have a seat feeling great. Are you ready to have a great year? Say yes. Yes. So are you feeling good? Say yes. Yes. Are you ready to make some money? Say yes. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's my message for you. Thank you so much for having me in here. I'm very humbled to be here, and I will tell you this, is that each and every one of you has untapped potential inside that you haven't reached yet. And I hope that through this talk, you gained 1 or 2 pieces of insight that can help drive you to grab more market share, to be the best you can be the best father, to be the best mother, but be the best you can be. So go out there and crush it and make it your best year ever. Thank you very much.